The moment Frank moved in, our little corner of suburbia went from a quiet idol to a high-strung panic attack. Didn't he have a wife, or a hobby, or anything to do besides watching us from behind his pristine Venetian blinds? It was all so sudden, so unsettling. His first act as a newly elected homeowners association president wasn't to plant a tree or organize a bake sale, but to call 911 on little Jenny Harper for running a lemonade stand without a business license. "It's a health code violation, officer," he said, his voice flat as a stale pancake. We all just stared, our mouths agape, as a bewildered patrol car rolled up to a 7-year-old girl and her flimsy card table. "Are you kidding me?" Frank wasn't just a retired cop. He was a relic, a man who believed every minor inconvenience was an international crime. The air in our cul-de-sac thickened with a palpable, anxious dread. The distant wail of a siren became our new morning alarm, a Pavlovian response to the sight of a leaf on someone's driveway or a garbage can left out for an extra hour. "It's a clear violation of public ordinance." He'd shout into his phone, his face a furious knot. One humid afternoon, my neighbor Sarah, a new mom, had a half-dead azalea bush by her porch. Frank called the police, citing property depreciation. "Is there a threat to life?" The dispatcher on the phone must have asked, her voice laced with exhaustion. "Yes," Frank boomed. "The threat is to our property values." "Can you even believe the audacity?" Sarah just sighed, the sound a tired gust of wind, and started yanking out the plant. He policed us with a fervor that bordered on mania. He'd meticulously measure my lawn with a ruler. His eyes squinted in the harsh sun, a look of pure, unadulterated judgment on his face. When he found it a quarter-inch over the approved length, he didn't just write a ticket. He called 911. "This is a code 10 to 67, officer. A nuisance with a blatant disregard for community standards." The neighbors would tell me, their voices low and hushed. "Frank thinks he's still on the force." The subtle scent of freshly cut grass, usually a comforting sign of summer, now carried the heavy, sour note of resentment. We held our breath every time the ice cream truck came by, wondering if he'd file a noise complaint against the happy, jingly tune. The tension finally snapped the night of my 30th birthday barbecue. We had a small gathering, just a few friends and family, with some music and a grill sizzling with burgers. The air smelled of charcoal and good times. Around 9:30 p.m., as we were laughing at a joke, the blue and red lights of a patrol car sliced through the twilight. "I've had it," I muttered, my heart pounding a furious drum against my ribs. Frank was at the edge of his lawn, arms crossed, a triumphant smirk plastered across his face. "Disturbing the peace, officers," he announced, as if it were a major drug bust. But this time, something was different. The deputies who stepped out of the car looked familiar and tired. "Are 79 again, huh?" One of them, a young deputy with tired eyes, said into his radio, not even bothering to hide the sigh. "We've got a noise complaint." Frank's smirk deepened. "It's more than that, son. This is a clear breach of public order. I'm a retired officer, you know. Badge number 79. My experience tells me this is escalating. This whole community is a disaster waiting to happen." My friends looked on, bewildered. A couple of them started packing up, a dejected silence falling over our little party. "Actually, Frank," I said, stepping forward, my voice surprisingly steady. The deputy turned to me, a flicker of curiosity in his eyes. "My friend works in records. He was just helping me with a little personal research." I was curious why a man with a distinguished career was retired so early. "You know?" The smirk on Frank's face vanished, replaced by a cold, gray pallor. "I found something interesting. A disciplinary hearing report for a psychological evaluation that was, well, let's just say it didn't go in your favor." Seems like they had some concerns about your judgment, your obsessive-compulsive tendencies, your inability to differentiate between a civil infraction and a genuine emergency. A stunned silence fell. Frank's jaw went slack. The deputy's eyes widened, a slow smile spreading across his face. So, what happened to badge number 79? The deputy asked, his voice low, but the mirth was there. Did you get let go? Or did you just, retire a little ahead of schedule? Frank's hands began to shake. That's a lie. I was a good cop. He sputtered, his voice cracking. I was just doing my job. The deputy turned to his partner, a shared, silent joke passing between them. Then, he looked at Frank, his face now a mask of professional amusement. Frank, we're not here on your request. We're here because we've received a complaint about the persistent misuse of the 911 emergency system. That's a misdemeanor. Get in the car. Frank's face twisted in disbelief. He screamed. He raged. He demanded to speak to their supervisor, his voice rising in a panicked shriek. As the deputies, barely concealing their laughter gently, but firmly escorted Frank into the back of their patrol car, a cheer erupted from the windows of my neighbors' homes. The sound wasn't one of malice, but of pure, unadulterated relief. The sirens that had tormented us for months now sounded like a sweet symphony of justice, a beautiful, echoing melody of a man finally getting what he had coming to him. It was a beautiful thing. And you know what? It's amazing what a community can do when they stop being afraid. What are you going to do to fix your neighborhood?